What's up, guys? Welcome back to Almost Functional 40K. Here to talk about something that's been on my mind here recently. Um, not something I hear talked about very often, but it's Gamer Burnout. It's sometimes, especially when you're trying to play competitive and you're not quite consistently getting the results you want, it can lead to burnout, lack of enjoyment of the game, wanting to step away from the game for a little bit. Um, I've experienced this many times over the years. I've been playing since second edition. Um, the biggest time I really experienced this was during sixth and seventh. The change from fifth to sixth, it just completely changed the way the game played, and I didn't really enjoy it. And then sixth and seventh, that was the time of all the crazy Death Stars and detachments with free stuff. It was just wasn't an enjoyable time to play the game for me. So I took a couple breaks during that time. A lot of my friends still played, so I would come back for a little bit, but I just wasn't into it the way I was before. Um, then when 8th edition came out, I really liked the change in the rule set, um, and the fact that GW was gearing more towards supporting, keeping the rules and armies balanced. Um, because before that, they had the mantra of they were a modeling company and the rules didn't really matter, and that really showed in their rules writing. And then going into ninth, they cleaned up the rules and gameplay even better. And then 10th is one of, if not the most enjoyable additions for me. It's very strategic, and they do a pretty good job of keeping things balanced. Obviously, it's never perfect, but much better than it was before, especially anybody who's played for multiple editions knows what I'm talking about. Um, and I would normally just, if I started to get a little burnt out, just take a step away for a little bit. There was a time back in the day when I was super heavy into competitive, chasing the meta, switching armies, being highly ranked. Um, back when Brohammer won ITC as best team and all that stuff. But that really, for about a year and a half, I went real hard competitively, and that really killed my love for the game a little bit. Because if I wasn't winning, I wasn't having fun because I was all about my results. So I've kind of tried to take a step back from that. Um, and I've just mainly concentrated on just playing one army, my Space Wolves. Um, if they're good, they're good. If they're bad, they're bad. Just do the best you can with them. And that can also give you a little burnout sometimes, just because, especially if you don't feel your army's one of the top couple, you feel like you may be fighting with your hand behind your back, and the results you're getting um, don't you don't feel reflect your abilities. You know that if I was playing that army, I'd do better, and then so either switch that army or you get a little jaded on. I would say. Um, so I've been feeling that a little bit here lately. I just haven't been getting the results I'm wanting with Wolves, especially the way I envision them and the way I really want to play them. I'm finding that that isn't quite where I want it to be. And it's not like I'm getting hammered. Most of my losses are close. A few things here or there could go my way, but there's just a few matchups I hit where I just feel like I just don't have what I need in that matchup. Um, so I've been getting a little burnt out. Um, but this most of my viewers and most of the interaction I get on this channel are when I do Space Wolf stuff. So I've been trying to stick with them and not veer off to any other armies. Even though I do occasionally think, oh, maybe I should start doing something else for a little bit, take a break from Wolves and come back. But this is a mainly Space Wolf channel, so I'm like, well, kind of need to stick to that. So maybe I had to switch up the type of wolf list I'm doing. But then I'm almost starting from scratch again, um, especially if I'm running detachments that aren't Russ or Stormlance. They don't really feel wolfy. Like Gladius, you can do a little bit, but once you start getting into some of the other ones, they're just play styles that really would be better with a different chapter. They have characters that work better in those detachments. They have rules that work better in those detachments. So if you played as wolves, you're kind of handicapping yourself playing some of those detachments. So that's where I've kind of been at lately, uh, figuring out where to go with wolves next, because I've done a lot of Stormlance. I've done a lot of Champions of Russ. I keep trying to switch up what I'm doing. Go Wolf, Thunderwolf heavy. Go Dreadnought heavy. Go Infantry heavy. Just so, one, I have content, so I'm testing out different stuff all the time. Not just, hey, I did that same list I've been doing for 4 months. So just trying out different units and things like. And I have kind of enjoyed that. I've, over the last month or so, discovered a few units I hadn't been running, and now I'm like, man, I really like those, and I'm trying to put them in most lists. So that's really where I'm finding the joy right now, is just discovering new units and then working them into lists, and then trying to find other new units. So you just have to try to find different things to find your joy. If your results aren't there, um, well, maybe it's, just take it more as a journey of discovery, which is where I'm kind of at right now, finding out about new units so I can say, oh, this unit works well in this role and wolves in this detachment, so I can hand useful information back to you guys. Um, and so maybe that'll help you guys in your game. So maybe even if my list isn't performing the way I want, I learned something about certain units that can be helpful to other people so their list can perform better. This is where I'm really finding my motivation for the hobby right now. Um, so I'm going to start playing around with adding some allies in. I haven't really been big on allies, but that's one of the few things I haven't done. So I'm going to start, I think, building some lists with Canis Rex and seeing how that plays with uh, Thunderwolf heavy with Rex backing it up. No Thunderwolf, but Canis with maybe still some Ballistis, but then like Ragnar and York. So I'm just gonna play around with some weird stuff like that. Tomorrow night when I'm having Aiden on, we're gonna do the Wolf Lord thing, and I'll get a little more into depth into. I went to another RTT this week, and that's 3 weekends in a row, which is another thing that can burn you out, is just going, 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 no break. But I have nothing scheduled for this weekend, so hopefully that'll help a little bit. But just talking to him about what I took this weekend, what that did, um, and I might even have him help me, and just while we're live, plan out the next type of list I want to run and that I'm going to start taking and then tweaking, and to see where that goes. Just start a journey on something like that. Um, so that's it. That's just something that's been on my mind, and I know other people probably experience that sometime, that gamer burnout, and it's fine. Take a break if you need to. You know, step away from the game, play something else for a little bit, play a different army for a little bit. Don't play anything for a little. Whatever you need to do to refresh your batteries and get back to enjoying the game. Because unless you're, one of the really, really top elites, you're not making money off this game. This isn't a job; it's your hobby. And if your hobby starts feeling like a job, maybe take a break from it for a minute and then come back and refine the joy. Because in the end, 95% of us are just playing this for fun. Um, you know, the 5% that actually get to make a living off it, I mean, that's amazing for them. But most of us don't get to. Most of us are just here having a good time. Um, so that's it. That's all my ramble on that. So like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Aiden and I will be back tomorrow night with the Wolf Council, and we'll get a little more in depth on some tactical stuff. I do have some stuff to share that I learned this weekend, stuff I was running, stuff I played against, um, that'll probably be useful. But that'll be tomorrow night. We'll get more in depth into that stuff. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.